All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division where some interesting things have been said about Jaron Ennis relative to Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. In essence, that they have not proved that they are better fighters than Jaron Ennis. And that was said by Breadman Edwards out of Philadelphia, one of the best young trainers in the sport of boxing. Very, very interesting, and I do believe true assessment of the situation. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division where we're getting ready for this weekend to get the first big fight card of the year, where Gervonta Tank Davis is going to be fighting Hector Garcia in Washington, D.C. with an undercard that is off the chain, at least in the names of the people that are going to be fighting. But in the lead up into that, one of the best young trainers in boxing had something to say about Jaron Ennis and Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. Very, very insightful. Want to talk about that and also give you my opinion on it. Before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber and supporter to the channel, thank you so much for your continued support for the channel. Really, really does mean a lot. Thank you to my guys out there on the live streams that support all the time. This particular video, I'm going to say shout out to my guy, Lone Star Steph. What's going on with your brother out there? And everybody out there on Chicken Talk. Absolutely great show on Twitter. Thank you for when you guys come by to chat, for your support in the super chats and the cash apps and in the super thanks of videos like this. It really is what makes the channel continue to go. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're almost always having really good conversations about the sport of boxing. This weekend, we should have a lot of really good things. Got not just conversations, but a really good fights to watch. In DC this weekend, you have Gervonta Tank Davis, who's going to be defending his WBA regular title against Hector Garcia, the WBA super 130-pound champion. Undefeated Olympian who beat Gutierrez in his last fight. The fight before that, he was a surprise winner over Chris Colbert. And so now he is going to be going and trying to get the belt off of Gervonta Davis. But on that card as well, and this is why I'm like definitely looking forward to the pay-per-view. No, for sure I'm going to be buying this pay-per-view, is that you have guys like Demetrius Andrade or Andrade. Pronounce it the way that he wants me to pronounce it. Demetrius Andrade is on that card. You got the two Peterson brothers on that card. And, you got Speedy Rashili Ellis on that card. You even have a young up-and-coming lightweight Jalil Hackett on the card. And, of course, Jaron and Gervonta and Hector Garcia. Just a great, great, great card. But in the workouts that have been taking place for these fights, there's been a lot of press on the camp for Jaron Ennis out of Philadelphia. And so there was an interview done on YSM Sports Media. Definitely always got to give YSM Sports Media their credit. They're doing an excellent job, out there interviewing people in Philly and getting a lot of really interesting information on their channel. So you guys make sure you guys go subscribe to them. But Stephen Edwards, Breadman Edwards, who was the trainer of several world champions, one being the first time that I saw him, I do believe he was working with J-Rock, Julian Williams, and then out of Philadelphia. And also he started working in the camp of Caleb Plant I believe Caleb Plant's out of Nashville, Tennessee, but he had just made a successful return to the ring by knocking out Anthony Durrell unexpectedly. And I do believe that was the first fight that Edwards was in his corner. But Edwards was asked, about, one of the hot topics in boxing, which is, what's going on with Jaron Ennis? Is he going to get it? When do you see him getting a world championship fight? And he said, unfortunately, he doesn't see Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford fighting him. And the reason that he said that, he was like, look, because people got, and I'm paraphrasing here, right? It's like, look, people got sense, right? And they know that, look, man, a lot of these older guys are like, yeah, I don't want you, you have to make your way to the top. You're not going to springboard off of my name to the top, to the top of the division, which is something, that Sean Porter said maybe about a year and a half ago about Jaron and whether he would fight Jaron. But look, the thing that I thought was really interesting about this, and I concur 100%, right, is when they talk about, people talk about, being high on Jaron Ennis as a fighter. And a lot of people retort and say, he's too young. What has he accomplished? What has he fought? Who has he fought? Right? Reasonable things to say about him. And what Breadman Edwards said, I thought was just very, very astute and something that I'm definitely going to use in the future, because I think that I've not heard of a lot better way to explain it, which is that, there's a difference between saying that somebody is more accomplished and somebody is a better fighter, right? Now, he used one example. He said, take, for example, the young heavyweight Jared Anderson. He's like, there's a lot of heavyweights that are more accomplished than Jared Anderson, but how many of them are actually better than him and able to beat him, right? And then he also pointed to like the lead into Caleb Plant versus Anthony Durrell, where Anthony Durrell said, look at my resume, look at the people I fought, look how many, I'm a two-time champion. He said, yeah, well, you've had more of an opportunity to accomplish things because you're an older fighter than Caleb Plant is. But just because you've accomplished more doesn't mean that you're better, right? So you take that forward and you go into, the Jaron Ennis versus Errol Spence or Jaron Ennis versus Terence Crawford, where people say, well, yeah, Errol Spence Jr., for example, is more accomplished than Jaron Ennis is. But do you know if he's actually better than Jaron Ennis? And you don't know that. And he pointed out, he's like, look, there's nobody that looking at it, right? Looking at it and saying, hey, man, look at who Errol Spence Jr. has fought. Is there anybody that Errol Spence Jr. has fought and beat that I don't think Jaron Ennis could fight and beat? And he said, the answer to that is no, not anybody that I can see, right? And then you say, the same thing about Terence Crawford. Is Terence Crawford beaten or been in the ring against anybody that would beat Jaron Ennis? And the answer again is, probably not. But it's not unreasonable to say, hey, that, Jaron Ennis is not, has not done these things or beaten these people, but it's because he hasn't had a chance. It very well may not be the fact that he didn't, that he couldn't do it. He just didn't have the chance to do it. So I like how he said that, at the same time where Jaron Ennis has not proven that he can beat Errol Spence Jr. or Terence Crawford because he's not accomplished what they've accomplished, they likewise have not proven that they can beat him. Like the reasonable conclusion of that is you're not going to know unless you get in the ring. Now, one of the things that he did point out as well, I thought was just really spot on, was he was talking about people saying that Jaron Ennis is too young. Right. But look, the man has, first of all, he has 29 fights. That's a lot of fights. And he's 25 years old. And it's only this era in boxing where people are talking about somebody's too young to fight for championship belts at 24, 25. When you look throughout a lot of the history, that's when fighters did that. Pointed out, Felix Tito Trinidad won his title when he was 20. Oscar De La Hoya won his title when he was 21. Shoot, Mike Tyson won his title, I do believe, when he's 19. Floyd Patterson won one when he was 21. Ali was 20, Ali was 22. There's plenty of examples of people winning championships at young ages. It's just that this age, people are using that he's too young as a way to slow fighters down and not give fighters opportunities. So I just thought that was an excellent, excellent observation. Definitely worth noting. Make sure you guys go check out the interview for yourself. But hey, man, I'm a big Errol Spence Jr. fan. I definitely respect Terence Crawford as a fighter a lot. Jaron Ennis, however, is definitely somebody that is out there that is the biggest threat for either one of those dudes. And I want to keep pushing to see this guy get one of those fights. But at the same time, being real is being real. It may take him a while, but hey, man, it's going to be up to his camp to try to figure out a way to get him those shots. Anyway, and that's another thing that he said. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.